All right. And we are live. Hello, everyone. As always, let me just check settings really fast. Looks good. Audio looks good. Excellent. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend so far. I already got a number of questions coming in. Hello, friends. Welcome if you are new here, and welcome back if you are returning. See a lot of familiar faces and a few new ones. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. I'd like to give it a few seconds to allow people to come on in, get settled, all that fun stuff, how that goes. But just checking some. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I had a little pop-up come up there. We are good. Hello, Missy and Kitties. Hello. It's just me today. Sorry, guys. Kitties are downstairs. But they will likely make an appearance here soon. They love being up here, but they always try to destroy that tree. Welcome, Glee, Serene Goddess, RM. Andrew, hello. I saw your email this morning. Good to hear from you. Chantal Mystical, Sweet Sloth. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Hello. Good morning or afternoon or evening. Oh, no kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There will be kitties next time. How about that? They are getting big. Let me see. Oh, you guys are amazing. This is going to be good. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in. Why not? We've already got about 75 people in here. I know that number is going to grow. I've already got a number of questions, and just the ones that I glanced at quickly, these are good. These are good. So once again, happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining for another round of live Q&As. We hang out, we talk about the law, we answer questions, and as always, my aim is to help bring you clarity and understanding about these teachings, conscious manifestations, so that you can apply all of this in your life to see the desires that you want to see changed. And as far as any kind of announcements or anything goes, I've had a few people reach out to me about email coaching, one-on-one coaching, when that's going to open up again. I'm not sure just yet. There's still the waitlist going on, still playing catch up. Holidays are coming up. A lot of people are trying to come in. So bear with me, but I will be announcing that once we're about to get that open. In the meantime, if you are interested and want more information, definitely check out in the description box, get on that wait list, and you will be first to know. Somebody also asked about the master classes and the workshops, the courses, basically, and if I was going to be running any kind of promotion for the holidays, and I am. Next week, I will be offering a promotion for the holidays, so keep eyes out for that as well. I'll definitely be making an update in the community posts. So with that ado, let me see. I think that was everything. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. Yara, hi. I always get so excited when you're here because it's got to be super late where you are. Good evening. I'm glad to have you here as always. Happy Sunday, Missy. Happy Sunday. Question: what generally happens in 3D when we revise the long estranged relationships as if they were always great? Good question. Well, in my experience, when I revised a lot of the estranged relationships, namely in my family, they started to show up differently. And for example, my mother and I had a very strained relationship, to put it nicely. There was actually many years that we were not in contact, and now she is one of my very best friends. We talk all the time, like every other day. Yeah, that you'll start seeing a difference in their behavior, how they start showing up for you. Um, you will absolutely see the 3D conform to what you have been revising. 100%. Hi, Missy. I was imagining that I'm pregnant, and some people asked me yesterday if I'm pregnant, which was very weird since my body looks like it always does. Did they reflect my imaginal scene? Hmm. Yeah, that was not a coincidence. These things that we would probably, before knowing about the law, we would have just chalked that up to coincidence. Nope. Nope. That was your imaginal act being outpictured. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hey, Missy. SP said he can't be with me now as he's become religious and has to be with someone of his own religion. What shall I do? He stopped all contact too now and didn't even wish me happy birthday. Oh, boo. So what do we do if, I mean, it sounds like in this circumstance, he told you he's religious and needs to be with someone of his own religion. I would revise. I would revise. Um, Certainly don't want to accept that as the final outcome. That is clearly not ideal. Um, so I'm not sure if you are very familiar with revision, the concept of revision. I've made a few videos going into the subject, but definitely check out those videos. And this is one of those cases. And for anything that is undesirable, anything that is said or any actions taken that were not ideal, we want to revise. Like first and foremost, first and foremost, um, because again, we don't want to just accept that. We don't want to leave that impression and continue to find ourselves in that feedback loop. So I would imagine the conversation gone very differently. Imagine instead that he told you how happy he is with you, that you are such a wonderful partner to him, and that he is grateful for you, right? Something that implies you're already together. Yeah. But definitely check out the videos that I made on revision if you haven't yet, or if it's a topic that you may not be too sure about. Yes, Andrew, good. Good, good, good. Yeah, persistence is absolutely key. And like I said, I did see your email this morning when I checked. So a lot can happen very quickly. Lots can happen very quickly. 3D is all old story. Yes. Yes. And we may need to be very deliberate and conscious of that fact and remind ourselves of that fact because it's easy for us to forget. Yeah. Things can change overnight. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they can. I have seen it. Hi, Missy. If we visualize a scene and have thoughts align immediately after we come out of the scene, does this mean it got impressed? So, if we visualize a scene and notice our thoughts are lining up with that, that's very good indication. Yeah, yeah. That's what we want to notice. When something becomes impressed, like when we've imagined something to the point of that seed being planted, we will notice our thoughts naturally take the form of whatever we were imagining. So the thoughts will change on its own. And if you're noticing that, if you're noticing that the natural subconscious thoughts are lined up with what you were imagining. Yeah, we definitely want to see that. That's mhm. Mhm. The feeling after coming out of SATs or any kind of imaginal scene is the feeling of it's done, like the feeling of relief, whatever comes with that. So if your desire was now yours, it would probably feel like relief, like a sense of peace, right? That there would not still be that anxiousness or any of that, remnants of the old story or attachments. Yeah. Oh, sweet slut. Hi, Missy. I had a really nice dream with my SP today. We were back together in a relationship and we were planning a vacation together. Oh, that is so sweet. And also, really good indication. Dreams can tell us quite a bit. It's kind of dreams can be is an opportunity to us see more, get conscious of what is on the subconscious level, so to speak. It's kind of a window into our subconscious mind. And yes, sometimes dreams are very abstract. Like there may be weirdness or symbolism. That's totally normal. But if we're noticing dreams of the end, the wish fulfilled, I love to see it. I love to see it. Oh, Fabiola has a great question. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. Whoops. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name, but you do have a great question. Hi, Missy. This question has been on my mind for a few days now. Why is it so hard for me to make the decision to take my attention away from the state of being that I don't want and put it on the state of being that I do want? I even feel anger when I try to do it because I tell myself, I can't do it. It's not that easy. Yeah. This is a really good question because this is a lot of people run into this. You're definitely not alone in this. The reason that it feels difficult for us to focus on the attention, focus our attention on what we want is because number one, it probably doesn't feel very believable in this moment. Um, and we may have always been in the habit of thinking worst case scenarios and going to basically the things that we don't desire. And it's kind of a ego defense mechanism, like brace yourself for the worst or try to plan for the worst. I know is a mentality that a lot of people have, unfortunately. um, so it basically what it comes down to is the undesirable state feels more natural, at least in this moment, at or when you were aware of it. Now that doesn't mean that it can't be changed. Obviously it can, but it is normal at first to be more resonant with that old story and that old state because that is what has been primarily where we've been focused, right? It's been a habit, is what I'm trying to say. And we are very habitual human beings. So when we try to focus our attention on something new, subconsciously the mind's always going to want to gravitate and return to those old habits and old ways of thinking, which is where the persistence aspect comes in. Why we want to continue to like consciously and deliberately focus on what we desire instead of what we don't want. And the more that we deliberately and consciously do that, it does become more natural to us. It does become more instinctual for us to do that. And then before you know it, your mind's going to be going to the desired state instead of the undesired one. But at first, yeah, try to give yourself some grace. I know it's easy for us to get mad at ourselves, to get frustrated with ourselves. Um, but this is certainly something that we're not conscious of. And with practice, you will become more, more susceptible to that new state. Yeah. Oh, love you too, Kat. Oh, happy Sunday, Missy. Hope the weather over there is better than in Ireland. We have no power due to a storm that happened here yesterday. That's no good. That's no good. I would absolutely imagine having the power come back on. The weather here is beautiful, and I intend for it to be just as beautiful over there in Ireland as well. Hey, Missy, I'm struggling with constantly changing my mind about my desires, e.g., where I'd like to live. Should I envision the home itself without focusing on the area or anything else? Thank you. Yeah, I would. I would. If you don't know yet what city you would like to live in or what country, if you don't have the specific details, I mean, right now, that's okay. If you do know what kind of home you'd like to live in and what that would look like, and you do have that idea kind of etched out, then I would for certain imagine that. Imagine walking around that home. Imagine, doing your daily activities in that home. Put yourself in that bed in your bedroom. Make coffee in that kitchen. Like interact with that home in your mind. Absolutely. I just saw this one. Going a little bit out of order, but I just saw this one. It's good. Oh my god. I finally had the guts to write things down to test. I will see fresh flowers in December. 40 minutes later, I get to work and there's a huge bouquet on the filing cabinet. Yep. Yep. No such thing as coincidence. No such thing. Yeah. Also, the importance of testing. Yeah. I'm gonna boost your faith a little bit more each time. All right, going back up. Opinions on the Joseph Murphy sub? I assume JM means Joseph Murphy, but correct me if I'm wrong. Opinions on the Joseph Murphy sub. The info is real different there. Like mental diet don't matter, only SATs is needed. It's logical if you believe thoughts are manifestations themselves, i.g., in how do you change states? Mm, So I take it you mean the Joseph Murphy subreddit. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, I don't I don't frequent Reddit that much anymore these days, and I haven't actually dived into the Joseph Murphy sub too much. To be honest, I think I might have visited there once years ago. Uh, what what I've heard is that it's hit or miss. Joseph Murphy was also big on affirmations. He was big on mental diet. He was very he would speak often about the importance of, you know, keeping your thoughts and your feeling lined up with what you desire. I mean, very similar to Neville Goddard. Very similar to Neville Goddard. He may have been even like he may have spoken a little bit more about affirmations actually, but he did also emphasize that we want to, actually feel those affirmations. That we didn't want to just parrot them, basically. So I mean, they were taught by the same mentor, Abdullah, mentored both Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of SATs. I love SATs. They are amazing. Are they the be all end all? No, no. It's not going to doom you to failure if you do not do SATs. Um, I recommend them, but people have absolutely manifested things through affirmations and other techniques and tools and methods. They're just tools and methods at the end of the day. All the techniques serve the same exact purpose, and that's aiding you to capture the wish fulfilled feeling. That feeling of naturalness, the feeling of it is done. Nothing more, nothing less. Mental diet is vastly important, so I would highly disagree on that. Uh, and by mental diet, I mean what you are thinking and how you are reacting in your day to day. We definitely want to take note of that. Definitely want to take note of it because that's going to be our gauge that tells us what state of consciousness we're frequenting most, what beliefs and assumptions we hold attachment to. So, um, yeah, yeah, those are my 2 cents. I would be leery of anyone that says this is the one true method and you know everything else is BS. I'd be careful. Um, where was my spot? Did I miss anyone? Oh, Serene Goddess, I think I skipped you. I'm so sorry. I feel pressure that I am the operant power and everything lies in my hand. What can I do about it? Thank you so much. Have all your sweet. And I completely can relate to that feeling. I think for a lot of people, it can be both liberating and terrifying. That when we learn that we are the operant power, that everything comes from us, it's empowering and terrifying at the same time. Because for most people, we have been very accustomed to, you know, giving our power away. A lot of times, even feeling powerless or in a victim state. So, you know, taking that kind of accountability is not the easiest thing to do. I certainly struggled with it naturally. Um, I mean, one thing that we want to keep in mind is that we don't have to get everything perfect. In fact, we're probably not going to get everything perfect as human beings. The point is that we're not perfect. So we do want to extend ourselves some grace, especially when we are still new at this, when we are still trying to, you know, learn more about this and apply this for the first times. Yeah, it can feel like a lot. It can feel overwhelming, and that's okay. And correct me if I'm mistaken about anything, but when you're talking about pressure, I assume that means like just all of the responsibility that comes with this, right? Yeah, yeah. It's also because that this is a fairly new concept, and with the fairly new concept, it's going to feel like a huge pill to swallow, and that's you will become more accustomed to it. You will get more familiar, and it will be more natural to you as you continue on this journey, as you build your faith in yourself as the operant power. Yeah, yeah. You guys are so sweet. Oh my god. I love this little community. Um, Hey, what happens if we left an impression but think against it for weeks? Will it still come to pass at some point? Do we need to visualize again to get back in the state? Good question. So you mean if we find ourselves double-minded? I take it. Um, yeah, we would want to, if we are aware of double-mindedness, we absolutely do want to frequent that state of the wish fulfilled until that is no longer the case, basically. So we want to persist in going back to that end, feeling into that state of this is already done for me and what that would feel like, and continue that until we're not going back and forth anymore, essentially. At a certain point, when you reach the Sabbath, you're not going to have any need or desire to continue to imagine. It will feel redundant. You're going to naturally be inclined to drop it. So until we reach that point, I would continue to go to the end. Yeah. When they say visualize till it's natural, can you explain what this means? Do you feel peace after coming out of the scene? Uh, they refer to natural and imagination only, correct? Not the 3D. Um, I'm a little confused at the last sentence there. I apologize, but when we talk about the feeling of naturalness, we're referring to the feeling of normalcy, the realness, right? It feels normal, it feels natural, it feels ordinary, I guess. Just something that feels more familiar, doesn't feel so foreign or far away or abstract or anything like that. Um, that's what we mean here. So we're not talking about emotions, like needing to force big, huge emotions. Uh, we're just trying to make this feel normal for us because that's what becomes out pictured. What becomes out pictured in our 3D is what feels normal and natural and real for us, for lack of better words. Um, After coming out of the scene, yeah, you may notice a feeling of peace. It may feel like relief. It may feel like satisfaction. But yeah, that feeling of it is done. It is done. They refer to the naturalness and imagination only. Yeah, in imagination. In imagination, right? Because your 3D may look completely opposite of what you are imagining. Yeah. Um, I'm seeing a lot of comments about my last video. I'm really happy that that was helpful for a lot of you. I'm really happy to hear that. Hey, Missy, your recent video was so inspiring. Recently, I have successfully made prominent interchanges and feel like a completely different person. Um, there are subtle changes, but um, there are still subtle changes and some resistance there. Please help me. So sorry, Sandvika. I'm just making sure I understand. Well, number one, I am really happy to hear that you have noticed those interchanges taking place. Um, but you're still noticing some resistance? I mean, if we're still aware of resistance, number one, it's not going to like make or break your ability to manifest, your ability to see out pictured what you desire. Resistance is just it's feedback telling us that something doesn't feel natural for us, something doesn't feel believable, something, perhaps there's still some attachment to the old way of thinking or the old conception and things like that. So if we're noticing resistance coming up when we're thinking about something, that's just feedback to say, hey, there may still be something, you know, still believed or something that we're still attached to in reference to the old story. And if that's the case, I mean, we just want to go back to the end. We want to continue to go back to the end until we're no longer noting these feelings of resistance around the things that we desire. Yeah. Hey, Missy, my SP said that he has a lot on his plate and needs to be selfish and prioritize himself right now. Do I keep affirming that circumstances don't matter? Um, I mean, yeah, I certainly would. But more importantly is how you are feeling. By that, I mean, what are you believing to be true, or um, are you accepting that premise? Are you accepting that outcome that he's too busy and needs to prioritize himself and all of that? Because I would also make sure to revise that conversation. Definitely make sure to revise, any kind of conversation like that. But ultimately, circumstances don't don't matter. So that can serve as a reminder to ourselves. But yeah, I would revise and continue going back to that end without question. I experience physical anxiety and it hurts so much. This only happens when I decide to manifest. Am I doing something wrong? Hmm. Well, I mean, when you make the decision to manifest something, you decide for something that you want, that's when you notice anxiety. I mean, typically comes up when we have resistance, yeah. It's not uncommon. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, and that may point to a disbelief in the things that you desire, like feeling that it's not true or possible or obtainable, things like that. Um, if you're noticing a lot of physical anxiety, then I would first and foremost help yourself to alleviate that. Like, before you try to jump into affirmations or sats or whatever the case may be, I would aim to help yourself alleviate that anxiety as much as possible. So that could be in the form of deep breathing exercises, that could be in the form of, going for a walk, or if there's any activities that help alleviate anxiety naturally for us, listening to some good music, um, you know, doing yoga, stretching, exercising, anything that will help to kind of shut off that fight or flight response, the physical anxiety, that feeling